Hello everyone, welcome to Dimensions online platform. So today we're gonna discuss English paper 13. Okay, so look at the English section. The first question, which is related to antonyms. You need to find out the word which is in opposite in meaning to the given word. So first of all, let's look at the word of the given meaning. The given word is relish. Relish means enjoy greatly or accompaniment. Now let's look at the options. The first one is tolerate. Tolerate means allow, permit or authorize. Then refuse. Refuse means decline, reject or turn down. Disgust. Disgust means is a strong disapproval. So you can say like a feeling of revulsion or strong disapproval. Okay. Next, relent. Relent means taking a U-turn on one opinion. For example, initially you framed your mind to do something, but accidentally you took a U-turn and done something opposite what it was supposed to do. So nothing but you can say backpedal. Okay. So now it was asked an antonym. So among all the options, which can be the more closer one, which can be the closer option that could be an antonym to the given word? So that could be disgust, which means strong disapproval, where relish means enjoy greatly. So this is the closest antonym that can be possible here. So all others won't fit here. Next, synonyms. So the next one is synonym, where you have to find out the word which is synonymous to the given word. The first given question is obstinate. Obstinate means headstrong or strong-willed, stubborn you can say. Now the options. Antagonistic. Antagonist means someone who doesn't have sympathy, unsympathetic. Okay. Similarly, abstruse. Abstruse means it's something puzzling or perplexing, which is difficult to understand. So that's what abstruse means. Intrinsic. Intrinsic means which is inherent. So belonging naturally to a natural quality or something which is inherent. Inherent quality. Intrinsic. And the final word is stubborn, which also mean the same as obstinate. So obstinate means I already told you headstrong or strong-willed or stubborn. So stubborn will be the answer. Next, correctly spelled words. So among all the given words, the correctly spelled word there is adulation. This is the correctly spelled word. What does adulation mean? So adulation means excessive admiration or praise. Okay. Next, idioms. So crocodile tears. Crocodile tears means what is the meaning of that idiom? So tears are expressions of sorrow. So but they are not sincere. They are not true. So tears are expressions of sorrow that are insincere or false. Okay. Crocodile tears. So if you look at the options, it is clearly there option B, insincere tears. So that will be the correct one. Next, face the music. So the options are dance at a party, unpleasant consequences, compose a song, none of this. So face the music means be challenged or be deal with the unpleasant consequences. So for example, if someone has done something and we say, okay, yeah, face the music. So face the music, the idiom supposed used in this context means, so be ready to deal with the unpleasant consequences that follows after this. So that's what it means. So it is directly there. Face the music means unpleasant consequences. That is the correct one. Next. Go to the docs. Go to the docs means if something is deteriorating or declining, so then we can, in that sense, we can use this idiom. So go to the docs means to be ruined. Yeah, all other options, to be in danger, to take risk, to disobey elders, are not a match. So the correct match should be to be ruined, because deteriorate means something which is declining or decaying or deteriorating or ruining. So these are the words which are synonymous to the idiom go to the dogs. So to be ruined is the correct answer. Next, one word substitutions. Absence of the government. So when there is no government, what can you call it? No government means nothing but lawlessness. So there is no law. So when there is no government, how can be a law there? So anarchy, aristocracy, autocracy, autonomy. So autonomy, that is a self-government. Autocracy, that is dictatorship where one man will rule the government. Aristocracy means the power will be belong to a certain clan or as the people of certain society or their descendants. So that is known as aristocracy. So generally they are considered the societies which are considered as noble by birth, so they will rule. So such a government is known as aristocracy. Anarchy, an means no or nothing, archy government, so no government, so anarchy means the same. So anarchy is lawlessness or absence of government or absolute freedom for the individuals. So anarchy is the correct option. Next, murder of one's children. Now, people may get confused between these two options, whether it is a foeticide or filicide. Foeticide means destruction of a fetus. It's nothing but an abortion. So the child has not born yet. But filicide means killing of one's own son or daughter. So filicide is the correct option here. And if you look at the meanings of the other words, fratricide means killing of one's brother or sister. Homicide, killing of a human being. Okay, where one human being is killed by another. So such word is known as for such sentence it should be used as homicide. Next, sound made by brakes. Now there are the options given are different sounds which have different meaning. So drone means hum or buzz. So generally you might have heard a drone which which flies in the air. You might have heard about it. Recently it has been a trend to use the drones. So drone means a hum or buzz which makes a continuous sound. Next, jingle. So it's your light ringing sound like ring, ding, ping. So these are the jingle sounds. For example, your alarm, basic alarm. It's a jingle. So that is called light jingle. So next one, chirp. Chirp means you might have heard the sound made by birds. Twitter, right? Tweets. So make a, for example, how the birds sound. They make a high pitch sound with a low sound. I mean, how you say the pitch is very high. So nothing but a bird sound. You are obviously you might have heard a bird sound. How a bird sounds. So it chirps. It tweets. Okay. So from where the Twitter has considered. I mean, the Twitter is nothing but a bird, right? So it tweets. So from that word, it was the inspiration for the Twitter, the social network. Next one, screech. Screech means make a loud or harsh sound. So whenever you apply a brake, what happens? It will make a loud and harsh sound. Something that is not, so pleasant, right? So screech. So for example, she brought the car to a screeching halt. Sudden brake, if you apply a brake suddenly. Next, so sound made by brakes means screech. Next one, error detection. You need to find out the part which is erroneous in the given sentence. Yesterday, it rained like cats and dogs. So, whenever we know that cats and dogs is an idiom where we use when it rained heavily. Okay, here like cats and dogs. So cats and dogs itself, it conveys it has rained heavily with a windy storms. So in such an instance, we use rained cats and dogs. And why do we need to use like there? We need not use the word like, because cats and dogs itself is a simile which conveys rained heavily with a windy storms. So yesterday it rained heavily with a windy storms. So yesterday it rained cats and dogs. So the like is the word like which was used there is not required. It is sufficient if you just use cats and dogs, which conveys the required meaning. Next, I would request to you to consider my application and grant me job as early as possible. See, do I need to there? Isn't it enough if I use I would request you to consider my application and grant me job as early as possible? So do I need to use to again in that sentence? Definitely I don't need. So I would request you will suffice the context. So I would request you to consider my application and grant me job as early as possible. So first option, I would request you, is the irony should be, I would request you should be there instead of I would request to you. So option A is erroneous there. Next, each of these boys play games in the playground. This is again a subject and a verb agreement kind of question. So subject and verb agreement I already talked about you ample of times. Whenever you use a singular subject, you need to use the verb accordingly, and if you are using a plural subject, and you need to use the plural verb. Okay, now each of these boys. So what is the sense here? Okay, the boys is plural, but each of these boys, you are specifically talking about each boy in that group. Suppose there are a group of boys and you are specifically talking about each individual boy. You are talking about every individual boy separately. So you are distinguishing them as a singular boy. I mean one single boy. You are distinguishing them. So whenever each of these boys means you are talking about in particular about each boy, considering him alone. So that's what each of these boys means. So these boys makes a plural sense, but each of these boys means you're talking about a specific boy, every boy, but specifically about him singularly. You are not joining them. Okay, you are not talking about all of the boys, but you are talking about a particular boy in all of those boys, and at the same way you are talking about all of those boys. Now each of these boys senses, it should be a singular phrase, it's a singular subject. Play, the play used here as a verb, the play which was used here as a verb, so it follows a plural subject, but each of these boys which we used is a singular subject. Now can I use play? No, I can't use play. I can use plays because it is singular. So erroneous part is option B. Next one, I don't suppose anyone will volunteer. Will they? See, it's a question tag. So question tags, you know, if it's a negative sentence, positive tag will be there. If it is a positive sentence, negative tag will be there. Now the in the sentence, is it a positive sentence or negative sentence? Yeah, don't is used, so it is a negative sentence, so the tag will be positive tag. But here it's not do they, but it's will they. Why it is not do they? Because here the auxiliary verb is not don't, it the auxiliary verb here, the main auxiliary verb is will, so will should be there, so no error in this sentence. Next one, Mr. Sharma, the critic, was dash enough to praise an author he detested. Detested means he hate or abhor, okay, execrate. So these are the words which are synonymous to detest. I already told you, even in the classrooms as well, whenever you are remembering a word, remember the meaning of the word, learn the meaning of the word with an easy word. Of course every one of us will have a set of words in our mind, because we right from the schooling till now we might have had set of words in our mind, but they might be the simple words. In particular, whenever you are learning a new word, for example, same detested. So detested means I know hate, right? I know the word hate. So remember this difficult word means there's a word which is not in your set of words already, which is not in your vocabulary, which is not in your known vocabulary. So you remember this word with a word which is already there in your vocabulary. So that would be very easier for you to learn such a word, right? So detest, if I remember it with abhor or execrate, it will not, because most of the times abhor and execrate might not be known to us. So if you remember this word with hate, then you can easily remember learn this word. So whenever you come across this word again, right? So detested means hate, abhor, loathe or execrate. Now Mr. Sharma the critic, Sharma is a critic, dash enough to praise an author he detested. For example, personally he hates an author, but might be the work is good, and as he is a critic, he has to praise him. So then he should not. What he should be generous, right? When if he is generous, then only he can praise a person whom he hate. Now let's look at the option: magnanimous, loquacious, parsimonious, surreptitious. So where magnanimous means generous or charitable. Okay. Next, loquacious means talkative. Parsimonious, miserly, someone who is unwilling to spend money. Surreptitious, it's a secret. Now, which can be the correct fit in the blank? So he should be generous or he should be big-hearted to praise a person whom he hate. So magnanimous is the correct one. Option 1. Next one. Because of his indecisive nature, Mr. Bhushan has a reputation for. So first of all, what does the word reputation mean? Reputation means he's known for something, right? Something good. Next, indecisive. Indecisive means unable to take a decision or oscillating between two certain decisions. So nowadays, most of the people are indecisive. Let it be career, let it be personal life. So such a thing is known as indecisive nature. So where they can't decide, okay, where they can take a decision firmly, okay, I do this and I follow accordingly. So what are the pros from this? What are the cons from this? So if people are not correctly, they are not, if they are not able to correctly do what they want, so they are indecisive in nature. So let's look at the words. Impartiality. Impartiality means there is no partiality, means if someone treats everything equally, so then he is impartial. Tenacity. Tenacity means single-mindedness, doggedness. So if you are doing something, if you are if you want to do something and you will not have any other deviations till the job gets done, so that is single-mindedness or doggedness. Next, prevarication. Prevarication means speak or act in a inexact or unclear way. Next one, vacillation. Vacillation means uncertainty or oscillation. Now, Mr. Bhushan has an indecisive nature. So what will be his reputation? His reputation will be for vacillation, where he is uncertain about what he wants to do. He's oscillatory. So oscillation or uncertainty. So which is the synonyms for vacillation? So vacillation is the correct pick. Next, with one dash motion, Rakesh disarmed his assailant. Assailant means the one who attacks you, the attacker. Now, with one dash motion, Rakesh disarmed his assailant. If someone is attacking you, so what has Rakesh done there? So someone was attacking him. What has he done? He has disarmed him. So to disarm, when attacker will attack spontaneously, right, suddenly, abruptly, and to disarm him, he should be faster than him. Then only he can disarm him, right? So something which could mean faster. So swift, ponderous, superficial, boisterous. So boisterous means lively or active, animated, cheerful. These are the synonyms for that word. Superficial means external or exterior. Ponderous, slow or awkward. And swift. Swift is not the not the car. Swift is means something faster. So swift is the correct option there. Next, being a handicapped youth, he was put hard to complete his military course. It was not was put hard to, it was hard put to, which is an idiom, right? Was hard put to means an idiom which means to find it very difficult to do something. So being a handicapped youth, completing a military course is a difficult thing to do. So erroneously, it was used as was put hard to, rather, it should have been was hard put to. Was hard put to means to find it difficult to do something. Next. So that's the correct answer there. Next one. He is too impatient for tolerating any delay. Right from my childhood, we have learned, right from our childhood, we have learned, to is followed by to. So is followed by that. Okay. So these are the basic sentences that we have learned. So he is too impatient for delaying, for tolerating any delay. It's not for tolerating, it is too impatient to tolerate any delay. So option C is the correct one. Next, the train was late for 50 minutes. So it's not the train was late for 50 minutes. You should use by there. The train was late by 50 minutes. Next, my father is suffering from diabetes for the past 3 years. So the action which has begun in past and still it's continuing. So what should you use there? Continuous sense should be there. So my father is suffering from diabetes for the past 3 years. So it should be has been suffering from diabetes for the past 3 years. So it should be a perfect continuous. So that's the sense of the sentence, because something which has begun in the past and it's still continuing, so you can use perfect continuous there. So as it is in the present tense, so you will use present perfect continuous. So has been suffering is the correct one. Option C. Now look at the comprehension passage. The stunning Baltimore Oriole is a common summer visitor to eastern and mid-western deciduous woodlands. Deciduous means broad-leaved or which shed their leaves annually. Neighborhoods and gardens. Baltimore Orioles winter in the tropics. About 7 inches in the length, the male Baltimore Oriole has a black head, throat, back, and wings. Its breast, stomach, and rump are bright orange. What does rump mean? Lower back of a bird. So we are talking about a bird. That one you know, right? Yeah. It also has an orange patch on the top of each wing and white wing bars. The tail is mostly black with orange fringes. Fringe means here border. So the tail is black, mostly black, but the border is in orange color. The female is dull orange throughout. So throughout the female looks in a dull orange color. Baltimore Orioles range throughout the eastern and midwestern United States. So throughout here means all over or all around or in every part of. So throughout the eastern and midwestern United States and can be found as far west as the Dakotas. As the western edge of their range, Baltimore Orioles may breed. Breed means bear young. Okay, bear young. It's not a bear which is young. Bear some young of their generation, of their species. So, okay, breed with the Bullocks Oriole. They were once considered the same species under the name Northern Oriole. Baltimore Orioles build unusual pouch-like nests and hang down from branches. You might have seen them. So they have a hanging pouches. So that's their nest. They usually nest high in the trees, very high. So but often come down to lower heights. Flashing means show something or displaying something. Flashing bright orange and black feathers to delighted observers. Delighted means very pleased observers. Active and acrobatic by nature. Acrobatic means performing or involving. Baltimore Orioles may even feed upside down at some times. Baltimore Orioles eat insects and berries. They can easily be attracted to gardens by nailing orange wedges to tree branches. Baltimore Orioles are also known to feed at hummingbird feeders and sapsucker voles. Sapsucker means American woodpecker, which uh, live in the wedge of the trees. Okay, the Baltimore Oriole spend winters in the. So where does the Baltimore Oriole spend its winter? So you might have seen here. So Baltimore Oriole is a common summer visitor to eastern and midwestern deciduous woodlands, neighborhoods and gardens. Baltimore Orioles winter in the tropics. So tropics is the answer. So that's a direct statement there. Next, what is the color of the female Baltimore Oriole? So the female Baltimore Oriole is dull orange throughout. So dull orange is the answer. Next, which of the following does not attract the Baltimore Oriole? So which does not attract the Baltimore Oriole? So you know that Baltimore Orioles may feed upside down, and Baltimore Orioles eat insects and berries, so they can easily be attracted to gardens by nailing orange wedges to tree branches. Baltimore Orioles are known to feed at hummingbird feeders and sapsucker voles. So the one which is different here is sunflower seeds, so they are not attracted to that. The Baltimore Oriole can be found as far west as, so as far west as, so western United States, and can be found as far west as the Dakotas. So that was clearly there. So North and South Dakota is the option. Next, which of the following is the incorrect about the Baltimore Oriole? So they feed upside down sometimes, that is correct. They may breed with the Bullock's Oriole, that's correct. The Baltimore Oriole has a black throat. So if you look at that, the tail is mostly black with orange fringes. So having a black throat is not the correct one. So that's the incorrect one. So that's all for today. So we finish this paper with this, and we see the next paper in the next session. So I hope you are all following. Thank you.